Good evening, everyone. Again, this is Paul Henderson, President of Pro Travel Network. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to get on the call tonight. We are going to jump right in and get started with tonight's call, Sales and Marketing 101. Tonight's call is going to be a combination of training, a combination of doing, and a combination of showing you how to brand yourself. So a little bit of classroom, a little bit of hands-on, and a little bit of philosophy and thinking. And what I'm going to start with, though, I'm going to start with branding, because that's going to be the theme throughout tonight's call. One of the greatest opportunities on the internet today, or that has become an opportunity for us because of the internet, is the opportunity to brand ourselves almost at will, almost to be anything we want to be. The internet gives us a chance to start over. It doesn't matter who our friends are. It doesn't matter who we grew up with. It doesn't matter if we're rich or poor, black or white, purple or green. We have the opportunity to literally brand ourselves and become who we want to become. Most people, unfortunately, take that opportunity and really go the wrong way. They go the opposite way with it. They perpetuate maybe some of the negative things that their friends and family think of them or think about them. But really, what we should do is take this opportunity to brand ourselves. Branding is not so much, people might say, well, that's just who I am. Well, branding is not taking away. It's just simply showing the side that you want to show to achieve a desired purpose. You know, I mentioned this on another call. It was kind of funny to me that someone had interviewed Marco Rubio, who is, an up-and-comer in the Republican Party, and he was being vetted for vice president for Mitt Romney. And there was an article that came out that he really enjoyed rap music, and one of his favorites was Snoop Dogg. Well, if you know rap music and you know Snoop Dogg, a lot of his lyrics many times can be pretty raunchy. And what happened was he actually made a decision that he would stop playing that and not really go there when he was on the tour bus or when he was around other people. And the question came up, is he trying to be something that he's not? Well, the answer to that is it doesn't matter. What he's doing is he's willing to put away certain things. He's willing to not do certain things for a greater goal in his life. And that's really all it is. What you guys should do is use the things that you have out there already and use them to achieve greater things in your life. You started your own travel business. You want to go someplace, and some of the things that we do, some of our habits, some of our likes and dislikes may limit the number of people who might be attracted to us for business. And when you're in business, I want you guys to write this down. If you want to dine with the classes, you need to be able to market to the masses. And so you want to be in a certain place that you are looking good to everybody. Everybody that sees you says, that's a person that I would like to book travel from, especially in travel. Why? Because travel is such a diverse commodity. Everybody wants to travel. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, you've got the Mickey Mouse bug. If you're a teenager going on vacations, as you grow up and hit those romantic years, you want to take your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you want to experience things, you want to hang out with the fellas, you guys want to do different things as you get older, vacations with the family, honeymoons, all kinds of travel. Business travel. And so as a travel agent and as you building your travel business, you want everything about you to be something that everybody can be attracted to. You want to be able to market to the masses. And so we need to clean up some things and we need to build some new things. But the most important thing is writing down how you want to brand yourself. Who are you? Who do you want to become? Another aspect of branding is figuring out possibly certain niches. So even within travel, maybe you want to focus on destination weddings. Maybe you want to focus on cruises. Maybe you want to focus on Asian travel. Maybe you want to focus in a certain community. You might brand yourself a certain way. Now that might not attract everybody depending on what you decide on, but at that point, you're actually doing it with a plan in mind. And there's nothing wrong with that because in certain niches, there's more than enough business available. But initially what I'm talking about is getting rid of some of those negative things that could possibly turn people off from booking from you or even considering you. So we're going to come back to that. I just wanted to start with that right up front to make sure that you all understand that what we're going to talk about tonight when it comes to sales and marketing, it all stems from the correct branding. And we all want to come off as professional. Write this down. Professional. Family-oriented, because if you don't know this, you know it now, that children dictate almost 80 to 90% of vacations. Either they're going or the parents have to figure out what to do with them when they're going. Another thing that we know is women decide most when it comes to travel. They're the decision makers. That doesn't mean that men don't travel, but typically in the family scenario, it's the women. And so even when we spend our hard advertising dollars, we're looking to advertise on, I'm just going to throw this out, say radio stations that focus and have a majority of women listeners. That doesn't mean we're not going to get the men. We're going to get them too. It's just that the women are making the decision for them, or the men are pressured because they need to do something to satisfy the woman in their lives. Not in every case, but that's the niche we're looking for. So, for example, we might really go for the easy listening station versus the hard rock station. We might go to the country station versus, say, the ESPN, which is more male dominant. I wouldn't spend one dime on ESPN radio. Doesn't mean that ESPN radio is bad. It's just bad for the target audience I'm looking for. And so, again, putting this stuff out there in terms of branding, niche marketing, and then marketing in general so that you can decide and start to formulate. You don't have to do it tonight, but just begin to formulate who it is that you're trying to attract. Initially, of course, it's everybody. We want everybody to be able to have an opportunity to find us. We're like that proverbial needle in a haystack. Travel is a $7 trillion industry. Depending on where you live, I don't know what that number is in your community or greater community area, but it's massive. How are they going to find you? How are you going to find people? And so what we need to do is use all the tools that are available to us and harness those tools to find people. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into the training aspect. Some of you, again, have heard this before that have been with us for a while, and it's always good repetition. I always say that the basics is the core of everything. Somebody says, well, Paul, when do we get to the advanced training? Well, the advanced training is when you know it better than I do. The advanced training is when you can get it. You're advanced when you can still get new things out of the basics. That's the way I really look at it because, advanced just comes from experience, but the basics never change. It's like learning karate. Why do I have to do this same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again? So that when you actually need it, you don't have to think about it. It's just instinctive. So training is so important. So let's just jump right into it. Marketing and sales and marketing, two very different things. Most people think that they're the same thing. Most people think that sales and marketing are pretty much the same thing, maybe just a synonym for one another, but actually they're not. They're very different things, and one is actually far more important than the other. Now, many times we refer to sales, and sales encompasses marketing in just the way that we talk, but when you get down to it, sales and marketing are two completely different things. Number one, marketing is the process of locating and attracting new leads. That's what marketing is. Marketing is that process of going out and finding people who are willing to talk to us. Not necessarily book from us, not necessarily buy from us, but who are willing to talk to us, who are willing to listen to our message. That's what marketing is. Sales is the process of turning those leads that we develop through marketing into clients or customers, into buyers. Both of them require a process. Both of them require time. Both of them require training. Both of them require you learning how to master both of them. But let me tell you right now, marketing is far more important than sales. Write that down. Marketing is far more important than sales. I learned this a long time ago, and I'm a salesperson. I've been selling since I was 21 years old. But what I found out when I got into the networking arena, that marketing is far more important. Now, granted, in sales, you understand that you have to market. You understand advertising. So you understand the importance of marketing. Don't get me wrong. But it wasn't until I got into network marketing that I really understood the power of marketing. See, the power of marketing is understanding that as you go out and market, you're going to find people who will buy from you anyway. You are going to find people who will buy from you no matter what. You are going to find people who will buy from you even if you don't know how to sell. And if you market to enough people, you can sell more than the most professional salesperson who isn't marketing or isn't very good at marketing or who doesn't understand the power of marketing. So if you're going to spend time and your time is precious, spend it marketing. Don't spend it in that computer researching travel. Spend it marketing. Spend it getting your phone to ring. And as that phone rings, you're going to have people buy from you and you don't even know or have a clue of what you're doing. And they're going to say, okay, I'll take it. Sure, I'll take it. Here's my credit card number. Those are what we call laydowns or hot buyers or people that are just ready to go, dolphins in a sense. They like to have fun. They're just easygoing, easy to talk to. You don't have to know a lot. They're just ready to go. Marketing goes out and finds those people for you, and there's lots of them. The sales process is important to learn the mechanics of turning other types of leads into buyers, like your sharks, these professionals who seemingly don't have time for you and just need an answer right now, and their personalities are short, and you're not sure you can make. See, sales, learning the process of sales will help you with that. That urchin, or what we call people who are the engineer type, who need tons of information, who let you know right up front, I'm going to chop 10 different websites before I agree to book from anybody. But I need you to give me all the information, email it to me, give me all the details, pricing, quote it, tax, everything. How much does this cost? Can you break that up for me? And a lot of times we fear those types of people because we're not sure we can actually sell them. But you can. You just have to learn some of the sales skills. And there's other types and personalities that require that. But you know what? By and large, if you market, you will sell way more than if you focus on sales. You're going to learn sales over time. We're going to have a sales training during this session, an in-depth sales training, but marketing is everything. 90% of your time should be spent marketing, because that's what's going to help fill up that funnel. So let's go ahead and let's talk about warm market versus cold market leads, finding warm or cold market leads. Well, warm market is simply people that you already know, or people that you know through somebody. These can also be considered warm market because you know them by invitation, let's say. Cold market leads are people you don't know at all, never met them, have no idea who they are, and you're going in cold calling, or in a sense, a introduction from a cold stance of not knowing that person at all. Well, warm market is always great because that introduction's already built in. There is a sense of relationship already there. And so we tend to have that feeling that it's going to be a bit simpler, it's going to be a bit easier. But here's the problem with warm market. It tends to make us relax. It tends to make us put forth things in not quite the professional way that we should. We might not dress the way that we should. We might not talk the way that we should. So warm market tends to force us to let down our guard a little bit. Hence, some of the reasons why friends, family, and coworkers become the hardest people to sell to, because we don't put forth a professional appearance or a professional way of doing business. Our friends and family are going to be tough on us, so it's more important when we deal with them to be professional. Let your sister know, hey sis, hey, how the kids, blah, blah. Look, I want to talk to you about something on a professional tip, and it's business, so I want to kind of change gears a little bit. Just kind of let her know. I'm just going to change gears a little bit. Let her know you're putting your business hat on. Let her know that you're talking from a professional stance. These things are important because warm market will always judge you harsher than cold market, because cold market has no way to judge you except based on your appearance, that first impression, the knowledge that you have, things like that. So that's warm. So be careful with warm market. Cold market, guess what? Outside of the fact that we fear it initially, because most people do, it's better. In many cases, it's better because it requires us to be trained. We're a little nervous, we're a little afraid, and guess what? We do a little more homework before we get out there and we just start cold calling, or we start meeting people that we don't know. We make sure that, we've got deodorant on. We make sure that we brushed our teeth. We make sure that our hair is right. We make sure and we kind of rehearse what we're going to say. And that's great. That's what professionals do. So many times, even though you might have an initial fear of approaching people you don't know, many times that's where you're going to get the most of your business. In fact, what we say is your warm and family or friends type market is just practice for the real game. Because the real game is that those people that you don't know who simply judge you on your merits, and guess what? After a while, once you get over that fear, that's where most of your business is going to come from cold market. Now, again, it might be some referrals from warm market, not discounting that, but in a sense, they're people that you don't know. You overcome that fear, and this is where the real business lies. It's in attracting that cold market who you have the opportunity to give a first impression, and they don't have any idea what you used to do in the past, no preconceived ideas of who you were, what you did in high school. That's why warm market is tough, because these people are prejudging you. Oh, is this another one of those? Last year, weren't you starting a laundry? And the year before that, weren't you selling long distance? And 2 years ago, weren't you doing this? They're judging you. Cold market doesn't have that ability. They can only judge you based on what they see and hear that you put forward to them. Very, very important that you guys know that. So don't fear cold market. Just make sure that you are professional and We're going to talk about that as well in some of the things that we're talking about when it comes to branding. So that's where branding comes in, making sure that you are that professional person. You've got that Donald Trump appearance and veneer, and everything you put forward is professional. That's why we make sure that our sites are professional. That's why we are doing these trainings so that we make sure everybody populates their About Me pages professionally so that everything that you send out, it looks like you're running a multi-million-dollar business. Nothing's hokey. You don't have a shoddy website where the logos don't match and the colors are off and it looks like you put it together all by yourself. You know, people are comparing you to other entities out there. You need to be able to put something forward that has that top of line first impression. All right? So what is the purpose of marketing? The purpose of marketing is to fill your pipeline. That's the purpose. It's the only purpose. It's the most important purpose, is to fill that pipeline. If you all see the funnel right here, this is marketing. From the bottom to the top, this is what marketing is all about. This is your funnel. This part here is the marketing part. This here is the sales part at the bottom. One of the interesting things about marketing is the more people you put in the funnel, by definition, the gravity, the density, the weight of the number of entities you have in the funnel will actually push sales out of the bottom. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Just by doing lots of marketing, you're going to get sales automatically. Because here's what I want you guys to write down. If you are a good salesperson, you might sell 3 out of 10. As you get better at sales, you might sell 4 out of 10. If you become really good at sales, you might do 5 out of 10. If you are a rocket scientist when it comes to sales, maybe you get 6 out of 10. But here's the deal. Just by marketing alone, you can force 2 to 3 out of 10 and have no sales experience at all. Just by doing powerful marketing. Now, what am I trying to say? That over time, as the sales skills get better, you will incrementally increase the number of sales you make per the amount in the funnel. So it is important to learn sales, and we're going to go over that. But again, it is much more important to focus on marketing and just filling up that funnel. So if you could sell 2 out of 10, why not put 50 people in the funnel? Why not put 100 in the funnel? Why not focus on putting 1,000 people in the funnel? Why not have so many people in the funnel you don't have time to sell? You need to hire people to sell for you. That's the power of marketing. Now, let's go over these statistics, which we covered briefly the other night because they're important. A recent survey found that 19% will purchase within 6 months. Now, we're talking about going from leads to clients. So we're talking about 19% of the people that we put into our funnel. So 19% of the people that go into the funnel will come out of the funnel over the course of 6 months. Okay? Now, marketing is also the process of not only finding leads, but following up and working those leads. So imagine you get involved in a business, you're not willing to put in the time that is required to build the funnel, to build the turn on the funnel. You quit within 6 months. Your people were going to buy. They just end up not buying from you. Over a year, 29% will purchase, 30%. Now, let's stop right there. So let's say we've got 10 people in our funnel. 2 are going to buy within 6 months. Now, granted, as you guys sell, you're going to sell people sometimes the same day. But let's just take this statistic. 20% will buy within 6 months. Now, how many of you can survive on 2 sales in 6 months? You're not going to. So by definition, right away, we need to have far more than 10 people in our funnel. So I need to get you guys to understand 10 people, 20 people, 30 people is not going to get it done. How about 100? 2, so that would be 20 people within 6 months. That sounds more like it, but we want to have 20 people booking every month. We want to have 50 people booking every month. So then the question becomes, how many people do I need to get into this funnel? Several hundred. Now, as time goes by, this number begins to increase. Also, don't get caught by, it says, well, that's over the course of a year. Remember, the funnel goes like this. It rotates. It creates a turn. A person that buys goes right back in the funnel for the next time. Does that make sense? So even as these numbers show 60% over 24 months, that does not count the people who have booked and are going back into the funnel. So what we're really doing is fighting. Everybody write this down. We're fighting time. Time is the enemy. It's actually your ally, but it's your enemy in terms of I've got to build my funnel and I've got to keep working it over time. Sometimes people are not willing to stay the course and work it over time, and that becomes a problem. So we need to understand that we've got to get started as quickly as possible. We've got to begin our marketing, and then we've got to work it. We never stop marketing. Even as sales begin to come in, we keep on marketing. Even as those sales go back into the funnel and we keep marketing to them and they become repeat clients and they send us referrals, we still got to continue marketing, and that marketing has to be the majority of the time that we spend. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and forget that we haven't done any marketing today, okay? You could be the best doctor in the world, but is it better to be the doctor managing other doctors because you've got so much business? Or is it better to be the only person there and you're so busy at the end of the day you don't have any more time to market? Well, that's because your goals were not optimized properly when you started. Marketing needs to be the key. And how quickly can I get to the point where I need to hire people to do the work so that I can focus on marketing? I hope that makes sense to everybody. Marketing is the key. How many people can you get in that funnel? Because over the course of 24 months, if you do your follow-up, if you inject yourself into these people's lives as their travel agent, in other words, you're not asking to be their travel agent, you just become their travel agent just with the keen follow-up, the consistent follow-up, and the constant follow-up. You become their travel agent. You just start doing the things that their travel agent should be doing, even if they don't have one. And just by doing that, you become the top person in their lives when it comes to travel. When they think about travel, they'll just think of you. So again, marketing is the process of developing leads initially and then working with and developing those leads over time until they come out of the bottom. And that bottom part is the sales process, working them right through the bottom. That's really the key. We need to get to a point where we enjoy marketing more than the sales aspect. We need to get to a point where we enjoy marketing more than actually booking the travel. I know I do. I get excited when someone calls the office. How'd they hear about us? Because I want to know if my marketing is working. I'm not even that concerned if we turn that person into a buyer. Now, granted, I am concerned, don't get me wrong, but the excitement comes with finding a new lead source, verifying that my lead source is working, verifying that something I tried new is actually working. I'm confident that my sales skills are strong enough, or the sales skills of my staff are strong enough that they're going to go ahead and bring that client home, that the booking's going to be made. But I get excited about the marketing, and you should too. When you get your marketing in place, when you get a customer calling, they want to book something, you should, I'm going to say this, you should feign excitement to help them book that travel. But inside, you should be thinking, I have to hurry up and get this done so I can get some more marketing out there. That's really what you should be thinking. Doesn't mean you're not really excited for the people, because we want to be, but I'm just giving you that, in terms of our conversation tonight, how important marketing is compared to the sales process. All right? Now, 60% are going to buy within 2 years, and over time, as your sales skills grow, you will increase the ratio of sales per prospect. So actually, the better you get, these numbers will actually increase. But the marketing is so important, it overshadows even that. Now, sales is a process, not an event. So there is, in fact, a sales process. There is a process of learning how to block and how to kick and how to, horse stance and all these karate terms, I'm just throwing at you. There is a process of learning these techniques so that when you do get in front of a customer, your sales process becomes natural. We're not going to be covering that tonight. We'll be covering that in another call. Tonight we're focusing on the marketing aspect, but there is a process of sales. But that process will be learned. You'll learn it over time. You'll learn it by making mistakes. You'll get it eventually over time. But again, marketing is far more important. We'll come to sales, and again, it's important. But tonight, trying to get you to understand the importance of marketing. Hot leads buy. This is the process of finding a lead, sparking them, spending time with them, blowing on them, and then hopefully over time, they get hot enough to actually burn and buy from you. So this is a process of follow-up if they don't buy from you right away. Follow-up is a huge part of the marketing process. Follow-up, the vast majority of all sales will be made by effective follow-up. There's a big sign that says stop losing money, because your money and your time is really spent in marketing. It doesn't take a long time to sell if you know what you're doing. It takes a long time to market. Marketing is what's going to take the long nights. Marketing is what's going to take the many hours of just formulating. You're just sitting there seemingly doing nothing, but you're formulating in your brain where to go next. Where do I find this? I'm going to be honest with you guys. Most of the marketing that we've ever done in Pro Travel hasn't been because we spent money. A lot of it has been me personally staying up to the wee hours of the morning creating citations. We're going to go into that next. Citations are simply putting ProTravel Fresno or one of our entities out there on the web, creating our Yahoo Local account, creating our Google Plus account, creating our Angie's List account, creating our Decidio account, creating our Manta account, creating our Yellow Pages account. Most of these don't cost anything. They're free, but it takes time. It's going to take your time invested into doing it because it becomes monotonous. But once it's out there, it's working for you 24/7. So it may have taken me 30 minutes, 45 minutes to put my whole Google account together with all the different lines and fields and putting in about me and the hours that I work and uploading a couple pictures and putting the links to my website and my Facebook page and whatnot. It might take me a good 30 to 45 minutes just for one. And there might be 50 or 60 that I want to do to maximize my business. So it takes time. But guess what? Once I click enter and that pops up on the web, it's now working for me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day, every month, and every year. My marketing is out there working for me. See, that's the power of marketing. Two things are required to market: time or money or both. And if you don't have any money, you can certainly use your time and get virtually the same results. Now, if you have money, you can get faster results because you can pay for ads that activate right now. But if you spend just time, these results will still ping over time. When I say ping, that just means they're populating the web and populating web searches. You're coming up. And we're all in this for the long haul, and you don't need to run ads. This can happen very, very quickly because your competition isn't doing it. Before we leave the training aspect of tonight and I go into the do part and the hands-on part, just want to clearly draw your attention to this. This is the most telling fact that you all need to embrace. Number one, make sure it's not you. Understand it is your competition. So one, you have a huge advantage if this is not you. And two, make sure it never becomes you, because someone will then be taking advantage of you. You're laying the groundwork and somebody else is finishing up for you. They see your ad. They contact you. They don't buy in the first 30 days. They don't hear from you for 30 days. They book from somebody else. Yet your ad or your marketing piece is what helped pique their interest in the first place. But you didn't have the wherewithal to follow up. You've got to follow up all of your clients. Well, Paul, you don't understand. I'm so busy. I just don't have time to follow up. Then you might as well understand that money is being lost. Hard dollars going out the window. All the hard work you did to build these marketing points of contact on the web and in other places just goes out the window from lack of follow-up. The flip side, though, is look at the opportunity out there. Look at the opportunity. When virtually 80% plus of your competition don't ever follow up. Too busy, expecting the customer to call them back, going over in their mind and convincing themselves this guy's not going to buy anyway. I'm not going to make any money on this guy anyway. Oh, he's probably calling around a bunch. I'm not even going to waste my time with this guy. Guess what? They still buy, just not from him. I want you guys to write this down. This is important. Everybody write this down. Rude people buy. And I'm going to say this. I'm only saying it for effect. Assholes book travel. Write it down so that you can really understand what I'm saying. Rude people still buy. Maybe it's just not from you. Many, many years ago in my sales career, I was young in sales. I was probably 22, 23 years old. I was in sales. I happened to be in auto sales at the time. And I remember a client came on the lot. And most of you know I'm black or African American or mixed. My grandma calls me a mutt. You know, got all kinds of different things in me. But to most people, I appear, I suppose, black. And I'm fine with that. That's who I am. But this guy and his wife come on the lot. I go out to greet him. And before he said anything to me, I put out my hand. Hey, I'm Paul. How are you? He didn't even put out his hand. He says, I hope you're not offended. I'm like, whoa, what does that mean, right? He says, but we'd prefer to deal with somebody who's not black. I don't want to make you mad. We just prefer to deal with somebody who's not, black. I'm like, whoa, that was weird. I've been called names. But this was like weird. I didn't even know what to do. But I knew as soon as he said that, I got angry inside. And my anger said, I'm going to make some money on this guy. So I went back in the office, got my buddy, and says, hey, this guy out here, he doesn't want to talk to me. And my buddy goes, why? And I told him, he said, oh, my God. I said, you know what? Go make some money on him, and we're going to split that deal. He said, okay. So remember, rude people buy. Angry people buy. People who seem like they're too busy for you buy. Physicians buy. Lawyers buy. Judges buy. Ministers buy travel. Everybody's booking travel. If for some reason you don't think you can book them, go back, look at your notes, look at your sales, examine your sales skills, examine the personality type that they have, and then go back and try it again. Don't just not follow up. Don't just write them off. That's money. And many times it's just to see who is going to be the one that breaks through, builds that relationship, and gets the money. At the end of the day, money's green. Okay? So I hope you all understand that. And the reason I bring this up is, again, there's a reason why only 17% of sales calls are ever followed up on. It's because the salesperson comes up with some reason in their mind why that person isn't going to buy, or the salesperson gets too busy with life, or the worst of all, he's too busy selling. You're too busy selling that one client, and you leave 30 or 40 without contact, and they're booking. Isn't that a shame? To think how many people who are already in your CRM are booking travel right now, today, this week, this month, and they're not booking it from you, yet you have all of their contact information in your CRM. Sad. As the president of Pro Travel, it's painful to me to think that the collective CRMs of all the hundreds of agents in Pro Travel, and there's clients every day booking travel for someone else, and it's because they've not been contacted by the person who entered them into the CRM. So important. Again, just make sure you don't fall on the wrong side of that particular statistic. All right, so let's move on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually go into some actual marketing. We're going to go right now into Google, and I'm going to show you how to get started. The first thing that you want to do is you want to create lots of different points of contact, and that's going to start with your website. This is going to be your main point of contact. So what you want to do is, if you have a piece of paper, you want to draw a small circle on the paper, and then what you want to do is you want to draw out from that like a little spider web and make other little points of contact. So you make a circle like this. This is your website, and then we're going to have little points of contact. So this is your Facebook page. This is your Google Plus page. This is your Yahoo Local page. This is your blog page. This is your LinkedIn page. And it goes on and on. This is your Manta page. This is your City Search page. This is your Yellow Pages page. All of these points of contact out on the web are all linked here and then linked to each other. And what it does, it creates a powerful system that the algorithms that Google and Yahoo and Bing use to create search, it helps people find you. So for example, if you just had your Pro Travel Network page, it's much more difficult for someone to find just that page without you having a Facebook as well, without you having a LinkedIn as well, without you having a blog as well, without you having other things as well. In fact, when you have everything like this, linked like this, people might actually find you here. But it's not because of this. It's because of the combination of all these other points of contact that are all linking with, one, your name, your core website page, www.protravelnetwork.com/ whatever your page is, because that is the tie that ties them all together. You can have other ties as well. On your Google Plus page, you might have not only your web page, but also your Facebook page linked there. Just like on your main Pro Travel page, you also have your Facebook page on there. So what you have is you have a series of points of contact that all have links back and forth to all of your various points of contact on the web. That's how it works. And if you understand that and you maximize that, that's where you can become not a needle in a haystack, you can become a nail in a haystack. You can become a jackhammer in a haystack. In fact, let me just go to Google and let's just try Chris McHale for a second. I know he's a travel agent. And let's just try travel agent in Whitby, Ontario. Let's see what comes up. Look at that. What comes up at the very top of the page? Travel Agency Whitby. www.protravelnetwork.com/aboutme McHale. If I click on that, it takes me to Chris McHale's website. Okay? Imagine that. He comes up number one. How many travel agencies do you think exist in the greater Whitby area? Probably tons that have been in business a lot longer than him, yet he comes up number one. Why? Because he's got his Facebook page and he works it. He's got his About Me content filled in. Let's just read it. Wishing you a very warm welcome to my website. My name is Chris McHale, your friendly Scottish travel consultant. Okay, that's a great key word. I'm an independent travel agent. Another key word, because we were just searching for travel agent. He's got that he's TICO certified. My passion for travel eventually led me to the travel industry after spending blah, 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 blah. So he goes on, he starts loading it with various keywords. I currently serve hundreds of clients locally in the Whitby, Oshawa, Durham region, and he puts in the greater Toronto area. So he's hitting on all the algorithms. Okay, and that's why he's pinging at the very, very top of the page. Not just local. He's pinging #1 in full organic. In fully organic listing, he's #1. What does organic mean? It means he's not paying a dime for it. Very, very important. So let's talk about how we do that. First and foremost, the most important thing is obviously your website and your About Me page, but let's focus on what we call off-page optimization. We're going to talk about on-page. You're going to have to do that, so we're not going to cover a lot of that tonight. In order for you to even access various parts of your site, you have to fill in all of the About Me stuff. That's your on-page optimization. So just to give you guys a couple key terms, write that down. On-page SEO optimization. That's your About Me page. So you have to do on-page optimization and you need off-page optimization. On-page optimization is this. Travel Agency Clovis, pre-coded in. These things are coded on your About Me page at the bottom. We just talked about Chris's page. We go to About Me. This is her About Me section right here. This is on-page optimization. You need a good couple of paragraphs here. Not too long. It's not really for people to read. It's for the web. So you need some good content here. You also need the right title, a nice description, and a list of the keywords that you're trying to target. That's all done in your About Me page in your back office, which then populates this page. This is what is included in what we call on-page optimization. It is the key. It must be done. If you do not have good on-page optimization, your off-page will not work. It's a combination of both. Off-page optimization isn't so much optimization. What it really is points of contact. And the point of contact that we all have, for the most part, the #1 is, guess what? Facebook. Facebook.com is the #1 point of contact that we want you to harness. Why? Because everybody's already on it. You already have a group of friends that you can immediately touch. So very, very important that you start to work your Facebook page. Again, it can be personal. I don't have any issues with that. But you want to go in and you want to put down that, for example, you work at Pro Travel Network. Again, you can have some stuff about yourself, but you want to have some stuff about, guess what you do for a living. You want to put your link to your website. It's powerful. It's important. You want to make sure that you put good content about travel. Let me just go to Chris McHale for a second. There's lots of others. A lot of you have great sites, but I'm just going to use Chris tonight. Here's his last post. Had a tough week. What's your idea of relaxation? A beautiful beach or a fabulous show? So we clearly know that Chris is all about travel. And if you go in, he's got pictures of his wife and pictures of him hanging out and having fun, doing other things besides traveling. But there's no doubt that Chris is in the travel business, and he's always putting out good content. Very, very important. Facebook is your #1 point of contact. Now, it won't always be. #2 is Google. Now, when I say #2, Google's really #1 because it is what makes search work. But Facebook is great for content, for social media. So Facebook is #1 for social media. Google's #1 for search, but eventually Google will take over both. Google will be the giant in the room for both. So what we want to do first is we want to get all of our points of contact. Now we've got Facebook. In the same class as Facebook, write this down. LinkedIn, okay? You can have a blog spot. You can have Pinterest. These are some social media entities, Twitter, social media. But those are limited to a certain degree. So Facebook gives you the most leverage there. LinkedIn is probably #2. But the gorilla of all is Google. 80, 85, depending on where you live, 90% of search is pushed through Google. So you want to make sure that you've got your Google page up, and it's important to do it the right way. So what you want to do is you want to go to google.com and you want to create a places page. So you can just type in places, and guess who comes up first? Google Places. So just click on Google Places for Business, and what you're going to do is create a Google account if you don't already have one, and you're going to create your own Google Places account. This is our Google Places page. They've now converted over to Google Plus, but you have to sign up as Google Places, and then it will create a Google Plus page for you. But this is it. You want to create the same thing. You're not Pro Travel Fresno, but you're Chris McHale, independent agent of Pro Travel Network or Pro Travel Toronto. You can create that page. There's nothing wrong with that. or outside sales representative of Pro Travel. And then what you want to do, depending on where you are, put your information in here, put your own tagline in there, put the link to your website. So here it would be protravelnetwork.com/Jessica. And this is the page that you also want to send all your clients to for reviews and things like that. So they can put reviews on. Go ahead and add photos. Here we've added not only photos, but ads. You can grab Pro Travel ads that are generic. You can slap your name on those and put those up. Again, creating that very, very professional appearance. But Google is the monster in the room. You will not have success unless you've got a Google Places account. When people are searching on the web, this is where it's at. In fact, I was looking earlier and I typed in travel agency Rancho Cucamonga, which is one of our agents out there. Easy Travel comes up. That's one of our agents. #1 in Google+. Now, here's what you guys need to know about Google+. It is actually Google Maps. So this is the key. And with everything going mobile, people no longer use phone books. People are going to be on the web, whether it's mobile or whether it's online. They're going to search. Almost all search goes through Google. Even though your cell phone might have a YP.com app, almost all search goes through Google. YP owns a little chunk. Yahoo owns a little chunk, but Google owns it all. They're going to type in travel agency, and Google is going to lead with their stuff. And that's Pro Travel Fresno's Google Plus site, which actually is Google Maps. So that a person can click on it, it shows you exactly where we're located. We're #1, we're located right there. On mobile, same thing. Our page comes right up. They've got our stuff because we're the #1 entity. Most people are going to click on the top person or the top 2 or 3 listings. So you need to spend every waking hour trying to figure out and working it so that you can be pushed up there. Now, what are the criteria that get you up there? I already told you. The criteria are the same. How many points of contact do you have? See, Google doesn't just put you up there because you have a Google account or because you've got 10 reviews. They're going out to validate you're real. So they want to see that you've got other points of contact. They want to see that YP.com sees that you're a real entity. They want to see that Yahoo sees you're a real entity. They want to see that Facebook sees you're a real entity. Does that make sense? So each of these points of contact plays into the algorithm that actually makes you #1. That's very, very important to understand. So, how do you find all of these other points of contact? Very simple. Here's what you can do. In your area, just simply type in travel agency. I've already showed you how to create your Google page. Just go in, sign up. The rest is self-explanatory. Upload your picture. You can upload Pro Travel's logo if you want to. It doesn't make any difference. As long as they can find you and you're using the right information in there, the most important thing is developing all the different points of contact. Here's how you do it. You want to find all the directories. Write that down, directories. Well, Paul, what's a directory? Well, a directory is Google Places or Google Maps or Google Search. It's a directory. So it's listing all the different entities in a given area. So we've got Google here at the top. If you just scroll down travel agency, now you're not looking for any particular travel agency. You're just looking for all the different sites that list travel agencies. So as I scroll down, look what comes up, superpages.com. So guess what? I want to make sure that we're in superpages.com. So I click on it. And then I go in and I find where it says create my free listing. And guess what? I'm going to create my free listing because if I'm not mistaken, there's Pro Travel. We're #1 in the basic listings. These others above are paying to be listed up there, but we're not going to do that because it doesn't make sense for us to pay Super Pages when they only own 2 or 3% of search. Google owns it all. So it doesn't matter. But these other entities, they are trying to make up for the fact that they're not at the top on Google. So they, are trying to get their little niches here and there. So you want to make sure you go in and you get your basic listing. So see right here it says add your free listing. So you can go in, click on that, and go ahead and add a listing for yourself. It's that simple. Then what you're going to do once you do that is you're going to go back and you're going to go to the next one, yellowpages.ca or yellowpages.com. So we're going to click on that and go ahead and put in your free listing. Now, we do have an ad in Yellow Pages. We're paying for this one, granted, but we're also #1 in organic. Get your free YP.com listing. Then you just keep on going down. So if you don't see any more, just go to the next page. So by doing this, you're going to pull all of the listings. So see, if I put Fresno, what you have is now you have Facebook popping up. There's Super Pages again. Now MapQuest pops up. Oh, I want to get my MapQuest listing. Okay, I'm going to put my free MapQuest listing in. You go ahead and go to the next. There's Yahoo, local Yahoo. I want to make sure I get my Yahoo listing in. Here's another one, www.204.pair.com. Looks like that's some kind of a listing for travel agencies possibly. There's Manta, manta.com. I want to make sure I get ProTravel in that one. So I want my free listing in Manta. There's Angie's List. So you'll just go page after page after page, and you just keep creating your points of contact. Here's City Search. This is a big one. Put your free listing in there. And make sure that your information is the same with every one. In other words, if you type in 300 West 7th Street, don't put the number 7 and then sometimes write out 7th. If it's Suite 101, don't use Unit 101. Always use Suite 101. Make sure that when you do it, you keep everything exactly the same. That's very important because what happens, the Google bots and the little spider bots in the web, they actually crawl these pages and they're reading all this information. And you want to make sure that it's easy as possible for them to pick it up and initiate those matches so that you get the most benefit out of the algorithms. Now, you want to get your points of contact in 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 different directories. Write this word down. They're called citations. Anywhere on the web that you can get your information and some information about you that then links back to your ProTravel Network website or another one of your places out there, those are called citations. In other words, there's another website that's citing you and it validates you. Google, Yahoo, Bing, Ask.com, they all use these algorithms and verify and apply different amounts of weight to citations, which then determine the rank of where you show up when people actually search for certain keywords, such as travel agency, vacation packages, things like that. And I want you guys to understand, ProTravel Fresno is you. ProTravel Toronto is you. Mimic everything that they do. You're your own ProTravel Fresno. When you see us do stuff on our page, do it. When you see us add things, add it to yours. That's how you want to do it. You can be that point of contact. When we type in travel agency, Jessica's mom, for example, I checked that a little bit earlier. I go travel agency Lansing, Illinois, ProTravelNetwork.com/Sunshine Travel. That's Jessica's mom. Comes up number 1. Doesn't happen by accident. It takes work, and you've got to work it over time. But I guarantee you, anybody, anywhere around the Lansing area who's searching for a travel agent, guess who's going to pop up first? And guess who's going to get that phone call? This is over and above all the other big players who think they're big players who may have been in business 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And yet she's going to get the phone call because it's validated. It's on the map. So we want to make sure that you guys upload your picture. Make sure you've got some good content here in your About Me page, and you've optimized your keywords and your title and your description here. And the About Me section just elaborates on that and adds your personal information and then encodes those keywords along with it. So that's really how it works. With that, we're going to go ahead and wind the call down. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to get on the call tonight. Tomorrow we're going to be focusing on on-page SEO. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.